If you've been following That Park Place and WDW Pro, you know that we have been following Agatha all along every single week and reviewing every single episode. And we haven't talked about it much in videos, but there was finally an interesting bit of news. It turns out one of the stars of Agatha was actually in the Disney College program and had a bit of an incident while playing a beloved Disney character in the parks. And it's not one of those face characters. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Agatha All Along star once had a panic attack in a Buzz Lightyear costume.
This is a park story.
It is a park story. I'm so funny.
This was the same choice.
Yeah, it was the same choice on either path. The loser is you. In a TikTok shared by KCRW Los Angeles, Agatha All Along star Sasheer Zamata shared her experience wearing the Buzz Lightyear costume at Walt Disney World. Before joining the cast of Agatha All Along, Sasheer Zamata spent time at Walt Disney World as part of the Disney College program. One of the experiences she remembers best was wearing the costume for one of Disney's most popular characters, created by John Lasseter. Well, I did have a panic attack in the Buzz Lightyear costume, Zamata said with a smile. Zamata was chosen to wear the costume despite being smaller than the 5'7" to 5'9" height range that is advised for Buzz Lightyear performers.
They just really wanted to make Buzz Lightyear a black lady.
I mean, there was a whole film about it, right? Where the greatest space ranger that ever existed was what's her name? Hawthorne. Yeah. In the video below, she describes the experience of not being able to touch her hands together, wearing the heavy chest pack and helmet, and signing autographs for children while sobbing.
Oh,
you don't sign autographs. You don't sign autographs as Buzz Lightyear. You stamp them.
You get a stamp, yeah.
Anyways, I suppose we all know what she means.
There are holes in this story, Jonas, is all I'm saying. She's too short for this costume, and she doesn't know that you don't sign autographs. Something's fishy here.
Yeah, let's see what she says, and y'all let me know if you can hear the audio.
Like a study abroad, but in Florida.
It's kind of like a study abroad, but in Florida.
Well, I did have a panic attack in the Buzz Lightyear costume.
Whoa, stop.
Buzz is in the 5'7" to 5'9" category, but I was like a little small for the costume, and it's like a heavy chest pack and this helmet, and I couldn't touch my hand to the other hand, and
that would freak me out.
Yeah.
So you're just
why would that freak you out? What's wrong with that?
I remember explaining this to a manager and being like, I don't think I fit this costume, and she's like, everyone hates the costume, get out there. And I was like, but I'm
please help me.
And so I was like out in front of the kids, like stamping the books, sobbing inside of the costume.
No.
So everyone be nice to the character performer. You don't know who's crying in there.
I am just going to point out, by the way, that she's a comedian by trade. And that is definitely apparent.
Never have known that, because there's no comedic timing to anything she says.
Yeah, wow. And also that really definitely comes through in her performance in Agatha All Along, that this is a person that tells jokes for a living.
Oh, I've laughed at her a couple times. I mean, I don't think ever intentionally, but
oh my.
But by the way, does she not realize that she currently is working for the Walt Disney Company, and that story does not paint them in the best light?
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point, because you're technically not even supposed to reveal that you had actually even worked a character costume before. So that's interesting, Marvin. Good catch there.
Yeah, and the Buzz Lightyear costume has been updated over the years. I would love to know. I would love to get some specifics on this, and the story is run using the details provided as the hard facts, as it were, here for the story.
And the hard facts.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's wrong. She may be misremembering it, but if you take a job in which you are a character performer, that's part of the job, of course. Having a panic attack in the costume, that's a crossed arms moment right there. For those of you who have done character work, you might
she couldn't cross her arms.
That's a very good point. Yeah, what is the signal for a Buzz Lightyear performer if you need a moment?
I think it's waving your arms above your head in a horrified manner, like Team America World Police.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll empathize with her a little bit, Jonas, and I think this is what you were referring to here. That I think the costume has been revised 9 or 10 times. The last time I actually heard about it, and that was some time ago, so I'm sure it's been revised a number of times, even beyond that. It is a bulky costume, and there have been a lot of injuries reported within it. So the idea that it's like everybody hates the costume, yes, that's absolutely true. It's a very bulky costume, and it's tough to get around. But go ahead, Mark.
Capture the Magic just pointed out in the chats is, could you imagine doing a Buzz meet and greet with your kids and hearing crying from inside? So yeah, if you're sobbing in there, people can hear you.
They can.
Could you just imagine, like, everyone say to infinity and beyond?
The kind of Buzz that is really it is portraying a very specific "I will go sailing no more" version of Buzz Lightyear.
It's
and
rough.
really, when it comes down to it, this is the most interesting news that's come out of Agatha all along. When it comes down to it, Marvin, I know that you've watched the show. You and I both participated in a review of last night's episode, which I'm now seeing online from some people calling it the best episode of the show, of not just the show, but of Marvel TV ever. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly
Marvel
a high
ever.
bar. It's not exactly a high bar to the best Marvel TV show. I would maybe paint the first couple episodes of WandaVision as probably the best thing they've done.
Yeah,
it was the same creative team.
There's some moments that I think the moment when in the episode where you finally find out what happened that caused Vision to appear in Westview. There's a moment in black and white, and it's in the bigger aspect ratio, not that 4:3 or whatever, that I'm just like, wow, they earned that moment, and they didn't even have to put up a clip of his death in Infinity War in order to sell that moment. Really, really good moment right there in that scene. But I think that might in fact be one of the stronger moments in the entire MCU. So when they go around saying that Agatha all along in the weird episode where they're in costumes for no apparent reason, and they're going through someone's struggles with dementia that they have not set up, that this person actually has dementia, but it's not real dementia, it's fake space-time dementia. It is such a confusing and it's not even esoteric, because if it were esoteric, it would have to be something that is understood outside of the episode. Forgive me, I realize I'm talking about something that no one in our audience, statistically speaking, will have watched. But this episode was a bunch of gobbledygook where they're trying to play at, oh, if you just understood all of our references, you're seeing something beautiful here. But I got the references, and no, it's boring. It's so boring. I cannot believe that they've wasted so much money on this show.
The way that episode worked last night, a stupid person would think that was art, that was artistic, because it is an artistic concept to have a character that has been experiencing events out of sequence for an entire show. We've seen characters that kind of live non-linearly, done to perfection in things like The Watchmen when we had Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
This was not that. It was a great concept with a horrible execution. And it tried very hard to be stuffy up its own butt art. Patti LuPone did her best. She was definitely acting her heart out in this one. It's just the subject material just is not good. And I'm sorry, you know what? Culture loves to say that Kathryn Hahn is some kind of great actress. I have not seen it.
She's
terrible. She's the worst thing in this show. Her overacting, her chewing the scenery. She is the worst part of this show.
I think you might actually be right. I think if the context was there of the other scenes building to these moments where Kathryn Hahn is, they play between the idea that she's the nosy, annoying neighbor and the idea that she's a serial killer, but they never show anything that makes her actually look like a serial killer. So she should be scary. She should be someone who they could have their own Dexter here in this universe. But instead, it's this toothless. I'm doing an MCU rewatch in the background while I work sometimes. And
You know-
and I'm about to say something that may get me into trouble with the audience, but I am not kidding when I say that Captain Marvel has better dialogue and has funnier moments than Agatha all along, which is supposed to be funny at parts. There are jokes that are supposed to be funny in this show, and they're just, what was that a joke? I'm confused by Agatha, and I think I have a pretty forgiving sense of humor.
With Agatha, with the fact that she steals everyone's powers, they literally give no reason for her to steal them other than she wants them. And if it was something like it becomes like a hit, that like a fix that she needs to, like, that she's addicted to, that would make her a more interesting character, because then we can almost empathize with her actions, because we're like, she's sick, like she needs help, she needs to be broken of this addiction. Instead, it's just like, no, I steal people's powers and kill them because I want to.
That's actually more interesting. If she's that much of a sadist, they need to show her stealing. So far, she's stolen one person's power. She tried to steal Scarlet Witch's.
And we saw a flashback where she stole her covens and her mother's powers.
Right. That's it. So, okay. This isn't Jack Sparrow, which is kind of what they're trying to do here, like a Jack Sparrow serial killer-ish kind of vibe. It's just not, none of it's working, and they're wasting so much money on it.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.